Why do we become so different around attractive people? This is a fun one. This is a fun one. Everybody notices this shift. And these days, I believe it's called mogging, right? When you mog someone. It's from an old term many years ago from like the pickup kind of cold approach community where you would A-mog someone, which I believe is when you'd steal their girl from in front of them. So, so now it's mogging. And what happens is when you get mogged by someone, essentially it's literally just a very obvious shift in your demeanor where you've suddenly kind of hushed up around someone else. You're like a bit like, you can't let your true words come through, you can't let your charisma flow, and this other dude is just like dominating the situation. So why does this happen? First of all, like, screw the mogging situation in general, but why is it around certain people, attractive, male, female, whatever, you tend to shift? A lot of people tend to shift up their general behavior. For me personally, I can think of, there's this one story that always comes to mind for when I was in high school. And God, I was just such a cute little kid, man. I did not know how to do any of this stuff, really. I was quite shy, I was quite nervous. But I always remember I had this crush on this one lovely little girlie. And I was walking home with her one day. And I think we were walking to a friend's house actually or something. And we're walking and all of a sudden she just starts singing. I don't know, she's just singing, you know, we're walking and I forget what fucking song she was singing. But I'm walking next to her. I remember the words out of my mouth were, wow, that just sounds amazing. I'm just so mesmerized. Now, obviously, what I said there isn't too bad. It's quite nice, actually. But the reason why it's like kind of cringing me out and I laugh at it is because it couldn't be further from the truth of what I was genuinely thinking at the moment. Not that she was a terrible singer or anything like that, but my first thought was, this is odd, why is she singing? But then obviously, you know, it's nice. It's like, whatever, she's expressing herself, we're chilling. But I just took it too far. I could have just said like I could have made a joke out of it, or I could have been like, wow, that sounds nice. Or like, oh, what song are you singing? What are you singing? Blah, blah, blah. But instead, I took it this extra mile by pandering very, very hard to her. My tonality shifted to like this kind of cutesy thing. And I said it was mesmerizing. And I remember the reaction. It was like, oh, thank you. Like I was the weird one, even though she fucking started singing out of nowhere. Regardless. Anyway, so that's the problem here and why she was repulsed and why I'm cringing at it even now, decades after the fact. Well, decade after the fact, something like that. Is like, I'm just like, whoa, it was such pandering. It's just so, that wasn't me. That wasn't what I wanted to say. That wasn't how I wanted to say it. It was this weird energy took me over, and it's like the words and the way I said it came out of my mouth before I even had a chance to mediate it or change it. Now, why I did this is actually very fucking simple. I was trying to get some, nah. Simply, there was this weird correlation where the fact that I thought she was out of my league made it so it came across like this weird pandery thing. I thought my value in myself was nowhere near enough to be of value to this woman, you know, to this girl at the time. And it's just so interesting where you kind of bitch up as soon as your brain associates you as low status. But in reality, when you do this, you're not a bitch. You know, you can call it that for like, you know, fun and games and to help yourself lock in, because it is a little bit bitch made. But what you're doing internally is you're seeking acceptance that you don't think you deserve from someone who is higher status than you, aka more attractive or out of your league. All of these different social inadequacies you think you may have are usually associated with your desperate need to be accepted and your overwhelming urge to not give yourself acceptance. It's insane. You're your own worst enemy and you seek for the love that you're not giving yourself from other people, and you already assume they don't love you as well. So it's this kind of downward spiral of seeking validation, not receiving it, or receiving the wrong validation, and just continuously looking down on yourself. I honestly believe that in terms of attractiveness, a lot of it is internal. Like, people can come at, like, beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. And I know that's like kind of like a corny term and it could be generalized, but I really think people will respond to you depending on whether they feel if you're real or not. If you can come across authentically and understand how to flow and just put your best self forward in a controlled, kind of calibrated manner where you're not weirding a human out and you're just giving your authentic self, people will fall in love with that. There's, on this entire planet, actually screw that, in your city, in your school, in your fucking college, in your workplace, wherever the fuck, you don't think there's one person who would authentically connect with you? Really? You're self-sabotaging yourself. You're not giving yourself, or actually, you're not giving other people enough credit. Somewhere along the line, you started believing rejection is a part of your identity. You started believing that people couldn't possibly just like you for you. People would like other people more. All these viewpoints, they did not come from you. They came from elsewhere. They came from society. They came from marketing. When I say they came from society and marketing, not like they're showing you ads and you're like, you know, getting low self-esteem. That's also a part of it, mind you. But I think marketing in itself, in a world of consumerism, has put it so people will rank themselves and people will act in certain ways according to what's popular, and that's the status quo. So if you're not that way in the eyes of other people who are within this mental model of marketing and societal pressure in this way, you don't feel like you're valuable or you have anything to add. But it couldn't be further from the truth. If you're able to reject that and be authentically yourself, you're so far ahead of so many individuals. People struggle with this. And it's not to look down. We shouldn't look down on anyone struggling with this. Everyone struggled with this to some degree. I struggle with this a lot. Why else do you think I'm fucking out here in the middle of nowhere making a fucking video? Because I'm so passionate about it. And I feel like we're missing out so much connection and beauty in the world because we're all acting as edited versions of ourselves. But I digress. To finish off here, the main thing and the main takeaway here is when you do feel yourself around attractive or higher status people, just take a moment to, once again, just notice it. Just notice it, see it for what it is. When you can notice it and see it, and you can understand that it's not actually a thought that's come from authentically within you, it's a thought that has just intercepted your brain and is affecting you, you can understand that once again, it is not you. It is simply a thought. It's a thought that's been imprinted by your previous experiences and society. So when you feel this way, take a note of it, understand it for what it is, and bit by bit, the more you notice it, the more you understand it's a mental model, and you can be free from it. Thank you all for watching. Return to being.